Hey, I hope you're doing great today. I know I am. I'm Beth Ann from BrilliantBusinessMoms.com, and this is part of the Get Found Guide to Etsy. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I take all the different keyword tools that are at my disposal and use those and combine that information to finally narrow down which long tail keyword phrases I'm going to use and I'm going to target for my Etsy listings. And the goal here is, one, our first goal is getting found on Etsy. I want you guys to get to the first page of Etsy search results for that long tail keyword phrase you're targeting. But the second goal is to ultimately get found on Google as well. And that's something I think people don't realize. Etsy is an easier beast to tackle, and Google often comes next. So we will help you to be able to do both things. Okay, so let's get started here. So for my example, I'm going to use this Be Brilliant mug, which should be up in our Etsy shop soon. Sarah and I are so excited about it. It's pretty cute, I think. It obviously fits our Brilliant Business Moms brand. So this will be my example for, my listing product, the product that, I'm trying to come up with the right long tail keyword phrase to target. Okay, so we're going to use this keyword worksheet that I came up with, and you will have access to this. So let's see, if you're watching this video, I will post a link to the file in the video comments on YouTube, or if you're grabbing this on Instagram, you should see a link there. So at any rate, you'll be able to grab this keyword planner worksheet for yourself. Okay, so here's my worksheet that I'll use, and what the metrics that I'm going through. So I'll put my different long tail keyword phrases that I'm interested in here, and then what I'm looking at, these are the different metrics I'm looking at to try to figure out, is this the keyword phrase I want to target? So I look at average monthly searches that phrase gets on Google. I'm looking at the competition on Google, which I'll review that again, how we determine that. Competition on Etsy for that phrase. Etsy autocomplete, does that give me suggestions? Is this a keyword phrase that Etsy is kind of pointing me in that direction and saying, yes, people are searching for that? And then Google Trends to see, is this a search term that's trending up or trending down? Oftentimes though, you may be targeting a niche that is not big enough to see a big trend one way or the other, but we're going to check it out. Okay, so first stop for us is going to be the keyword planner. And let me show you, you can either use the planner here and go with these metrics for average monthly searches, or you can use the keyword planner that's like after you're creating an AdWords campaign. And I'm actually going to use this one over here because I find it much faster to search, find the keyword that I'm looking for, get more examples. I just find it much quicker. You will notice that the metrics are slightly different. They match up, somewhat well, but the overall numbers are a little bit different here compared to here. So just pick one and stick with it. Don't try to compare, one result from one place to a result from the other place. So I'm just going to stick with this one for our example here. Okay. So let's start at the top here with what I initially searched for. So obviously mug, huge, but this isn't a long tail keyword phrase. That's not good enough. I'm never going to rank for just mug. So porcelain mug, we're getting a little better. Drinking cup. But again, I want to target at least 3 words or more. If I can do more than that, awesome. Okay, so then I was trying, okay, what else? So I'm just brainstorming. Now, if this is your first time and you're drawing a blank, then that's when I suggest you go over and use the thesaurus, use the dictionary to come up with these other keyword phrases. Use those questions, and that'll be in a worksheet as well, those questions with the descriptive phrases like what color is it? How do people use it? Where do they use it? Things like that. Okay, then I got a little more specific, mug with quote, but you can see that's not searched quite as often. But the thing is, what about on Etsy? So if I just type in mug on Etsy, what comes up? Okay, coffee mug, that's okay, but again, I want 3 words, ceramic mug. Here is something interesting. Etsy is suggesting to me this 3-word phrase, unique coffee mugs. All right, so that's big enough that people are searching for that. So I came over here and did that in the keyword planner, unique coffee mugs. 6,600 people are searching for that every month. I never would have guessed. And so I would say ours is a unique coffee mug. So that's one of the phrases that I'm going to look at here. So let me just write this down. Unique coffee mugs. I'm at 6,600. Okay, here's my worksheet. Unique coffee mugs. Average monthly searches on Google was the 6,600. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the competition on Google. All right, so to do that, all I do is I head over to google.com and I type in unique coffee mugs. There it is. It's suggesting it right there. Oh, that one is unique. So this number right here, the total number of results, that's my competition on Google. So 2.33 million. So don't let that discourage you. It's going to be okay. All right, so I'm going to do 2.33 mil. All right, why is it not letting me type here? Come on. Oh, I guess maybe it wants me to stay on the same line. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. If I could just put this on a sheet of paper and show you that way, I totally would, but it wouldn't work for this video. Oh, I see. It's because of this. I'm good at math. I am not good with technology all the time. Okay, 2.33 mil for Google. Come on, move over. Okay. It's not moving. Oh, that's a new box. All right, I'll just keep that one here for the next one. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to look at is what's the competition on Etsy for unique coffee mugs. So let me head back over here. So you can probably tell it's going to be the same idea. I want to see how many results. So see, look, this is why you shouldn't be scared at the competition on Google, because on Etsy, you only have 10,543 results. See, it's not going to be that hard. We're going to be just fine. All right, 10,543. Okay, please let me type in the right spot. 10,543. Kind of, except this guy is in my way. There he goes. Okay. Obviously, this is not perfect and pretty. Okay, then Etsy autocomplete. I'm going to say, yes, it's suggested to me. Suggested. Okay, I'm going to type it over here and move it. Suggested with mug. So that's letting them know. I mean, I typed in a pretty general term there, just the word mug, and it was suggested to me. So that's a pretty good sign right there. And then Google Trends. So let me go to Google Trends and see what they're going to show us about unique coffee mugs here. And guys, I know this seems like it's taking a while. If you had this sheet and you were just jotting this down, it really wouldn't take you that long. And this is totally something you could do because really you are being creative because you'll be thinking of new phrases, but a lot of it is just number tracking and comparing those numbers to finally decide like what phrase are you going to target? What are you going to work towards? Okay, so unique coffee mugs. Let's see if this will be helpful. Spike. Yeah, so obviously it's like spiking around the Christmas season. Totally makes sense. Uh-oh. Like it looks like the peak was in 2010, but overall, I mean, it's relatively flat. It's more just that you get the peak at Christmas time. Well, as of this video recording, it's July. This is the perfect time to get ready for those Christmas sales. Yeah, so it's saying not enough search volume to show results. Related search is unique coffee cups. So top rising breakout. Okay, so what does that mean? So unique coffee cups is like a new one? Okay. Let me see if I can compare those two to each other. Unique coffee mugs and unique coffee cups. because that's would be interesting to see right there. Okay, so unique coffee cups is searched much less. Why are they calling it breakout? Just because they never saw it until the past few years? So it's a breakout term. Okay, interesting. It's not searched that much. I mean, that could be different on Etsy, but Etsy was still suggesting to me to use unique coffee mugs. So I'll probably start with that, and then maybe coffee cups is something. If I end up with 10 mug listings, then maybe one of them for unique coffee cups. But it doesn't look like it's searched enough to really make it worth my while. So let me just try over here, unique coffee cups, just to see. I'm curious what it'll show me over here. Okay, so $5.90 it's saying, versus my unique coffee mugs that was at what, $6,600? Yeah, so that's a big difference. All right, I'm just gonna stick with unique coffee mugs for now, unless for some reason I find that there's like way less competition for this term. But actually, let's just figure that out real quick. Unique coffee cups. I'll just stick with the Etsy thing. Oh, I mean, it's not that much less. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, I guess 3,000 less. Oh, that's not a nice cup right there. Okay, so maybe worth my while. If I'm not getting what I want to see with unique coffee mugs, I could consider it. But for now, I'm going to stick with the coffee mugs because that was suggested. It just seems like it's searched way, 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 way more. So I want to capture those customers. And I think I can do it. I can totally get to the first page with that term. Okay, so I'm heading back over here and deciding that Google Trends, I mean, not that helpful. I guess I could just make a note, coffee cup equals breakout, and just like leave it there in case I need that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so one thing I thought was interesting, I searched for pretty coffee. Okay, so then, yeah, pretty coffee mugs. 611. There was something interesting though about that on Google. Okay, pretty mug at $5.90, pretty coffee cup at $50. Pretty coffee cups. Here's another thing I really want you guys to note, and I think so many people miss this, is that people so often search for the plural term instead of the singular. And I know that your brain on Etsy, you're saying, I have one mug for sale. This is one mug. I'm not going to say unique coffee mugs, unique whatever. Use the plural. Guys, people are searching plural because they're just thinking, yeah, I want to peruse all the mugs that are out there. So you want to capture that bigger, that more often searched term. So more often than not, you'll want to use the plural. As you can see here, pretty coffee cups, pretty coffee cup. That's a big difference. I mean, 3 times as many searches every month for pretty coffee cups over pretty coffee cup. And let me tell you something here. So like clearly this isn't searched that much, 140 times a month, but like look at the competition. Let me do this one for pretty coffee cup. Dude, I mean, your competition is so much less. So that's something that if you're a brand new shop, and so it's harder at the beginning to get those search results because, or, you know, to get high in the rankings because you don't have the favorites and you don't have the sales and you don't have people sharing about your shop all over the place and you don't have the big social media. So sometimes going for that low-hanging fruit can be your best bet. So I'm going to go ahead and write down pretty coffee cup because I'm loving the little bit of that is so much less competition, but yet 140 people a month, guys. That's not bad at all. That'd be great, right? If that many people were looking at your listing. And I know that's on Google, so it's a little different than Etsy, but still. So we're going to write that down. Pretty coffee cups. And we're going to say, Google told us 140. And I know this is probably going to get a little bit boring after a while. So if you do get bored, you can always skip to the end and kind of see what did I end up deciding for all of these. So let me do. Okay, that one's at 4.6 million. Wow, that seems crazy that it's so many. Anthropology's first. I'm curious. Okay. Oh, there's Pinterest. That's for another video. There you go. Oh, cute. And then pretty coffee cups. So here's the other awesome thing about if you rank well for pretty coffee cups on Etsy, then you still can come up on the first page for Google. And look at that. Oh my goodness. The fact that Etsy's only showing you this many, if you can get into this little section, you're going to be doing great. Okay. All right. So what I say, it was like 4 million or some. Goodness, that just seems crazy. It must be that something about that term pretty. I bet things that aren't at all related to mugs are like showing up. 4 mil. Okay, competition on Etsy was like 583. Awesome. And then Etsy autocomplete. Let's see, did we get any sort of... When we did this, pretty coffee mugs came up, so it's another idea. What if we just type in coffee? Do we get any indication? No, just coffee mug. Unique coffee mugs. So again, we were already doing that. Coffee cup. Okay, so nothing really there. And then let's search here. I highly doubt it here if these guys had nothing. So you'll start to see you don't necessarily have to use Google Trends every time. Because it's going to be so low, that they just are not really showing you anything. But don't let that 0 scare you, because we know that's not true based on what the keyword planner told us. Okay, come back over here. Nothing really of note there. So let's move on. Okay. So one thing that intrigued me that I hadn't thought about was custom coffee cup. That was suggested to me as being, similar. I guess to me, I view custom as like it's personalized, it's one of a kind, it's just for you. But perhaps they mean a custom design, in which case, like, let's see, how would you classify custom design? Like, is that a unique one of a kind, like put that person's name on it? Or does that mean something like our mug, which is a custom design? Only we have the cute little Be Brilliant mug with just those flowers on it. We designed it. So, yeah, I'm curious to see, like, how is custom defined? All right, and of course my internet's being really slow, because that may be a term that I would be okay with, is custom design mugs or something along those lines. But if people are searching that term only when they want you to personally design a mug that's just for them, then I'm not going to use that term, because I'm not in the business of designing every little thing. Like, I'm not a mug designer for hire, essentially. I just have done it one time so far. So if that's what it is, I don't want to target that word, because you want your ideal customer to find you. You don't want somebody who's not let me start this again. You don't want to show up for someone as a result if you're not what they're looking for. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do the customer any good. You need to be showing up for the people who want what you have to offer, which that's something that I find really funny. I see people do that all the time. Like, they just want to show up on the first page for this, that, or the other. But it's like, well, why? Why are you even targeting that phrase? People who are using that phrase aren't looking for what you have. So it's just kind of silly. Okay, custom. They're not even using it in the same way that I would think of. Okay, custom, made specially for individual customers. Okay, so I'm going to steer clear of that for now, because I think those people want it. Yeah, they want it made specially. That's not for me. There's plenty of other keywords I can target. Okay, so here's some other ones, like white coffee mug, white coffee cup. Again, big difference there. This, though, would be something where, the long tail keyword phrase you would target would be white coffee mug. But absolutely, of course, in your tags on Etsy, you want to have white coffee cup or at least coffee cup. And even in your listing description, you definitely start off in your first sentence using white coffee mug, but then throughout that description at some point use coffee cup. Break it up. Give Google and give Etsy as many clues as you can. Another thing I thought was interesting is coffee mug, misspelled coffee. Look how many search results that gets. Okay, so that has me curious. I want to take this and see what is my competition if I misspell that word. Okay, 16 million? Holy cow. Oh, no. Whoops, I have to make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, 645,000. I'm going to write that down just to, I'm curious, just to keep it in mind. And again, on Etsy, that may not be what you target, but that may be something you want to have as an intentional misspelling on your listing tag. Okay, so then it was what? 645,000. Okay, move that over. And then let's see the average monthly. Oh yeah, we said that was really good. That was 8,100. That is, guys, that's really good. And especially considering how much lower that competition is. Okay, and then on Etsy, okay, so then here obviously makes sense that they're suggesting that. 1,674. So yeah, look, they misspelled it. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, again, it's a lot less competition. So just starting out, it may absolutely be worth your while, even for me. Well, in our Etsy shop, that's the thing. We have the Amateur Naturalist Etsy shop, which has been around for a while, and it's not that hard for us to rank on the first page. When we really try and focus at it, we can do it. But we have favorites and sales and views and mentions and all this clout to kind of back us up. If you're brand new and you're trying to get those first sales and favorites, as we will be, because we're opening up our Brilliant Business Mom shop. So that's going to be brand new. So absolutely, I want to use coffee mug spelled like that. Okay, what did I say? 1,000. Guys, I'm blabbing too much. I'm losing my train of thought. 1674. Okay, let me come do this over here. And if you are in the mug selling business, you should totally be checking out this video because I'm giving away all my secrets. Etsy autocomplete, nothing really. I'm not going to search here. I don't think, well, I could search in Google Trends. I highly doubt it, but. Oh, okay. That is interesting. Average 38. So these guys are way down here. Okay, so this must be how they spell it in some other country. That must be what this is. Why is it so high? So look at that. You're getting different clues from all of the different tools at your disposal, because I never would have thought, what? That coffee mug was that high and that trending? Okay, wait, here's this one. Coffee cups down here. Where's the regular coffee mug? Rising. Breakout. Best coffee mug, coffee cup, coffee mugs. Okay, so I'm gonna make a note here because that's, let me just make sure. Yeah, coffee mug with a misspelling. Look how much higher it is than the others. So I'm going to say yes, or up, trending up. All right, so good to know. And see, guys, I never would have known that unless, I honestly got the idea for that misspelling just from going here and saying more like this. Okay, what else do we want to do? I don't want this to drag on forever. As you can see, there's obviously a lot of there's a lot of different ways you can go. So how else would I describe my mug? Here's like the questions to ask, like what makes it unique? Why is it different than any other mug? Well, and so I started thinking to myself, okay, well, it has a quote on it. So that's one. So I had like quote mug with quote. Okay, so that's at 90. Yeah, okay. And I was like, well, it's like uplifting, it's encouraging, it's inspirational, maybe, So this is what surprised me, is inspirational mug at $880 a month. Whoa, so that's as high as gift mug? Like, I was kind of shocked by that. So inspirational mug, bam, that's great. But then here, inspirational quote mug, I'm honestly even just surprised that like landed on the radar at all, because obviously you can see like unique coffee mugs with quotes not on the radar, uplifting mug not on the radar. So here's the thing. What I may want to do is target this keyword, inspirational quote mug, knowing that I can still make it to the first page of Google and the first page of Etsy search for inspirational mug without that extra word in there. I can. Let me do a little hunting here on Etsy to see what I think. Inspirational mug, inspirational quote mug. Okay, so this was interesting. Obviously, inspirational quote is huge on Etsy. I knew that would come up. So here's the thing. There's where I like the idea of it not just saying inspirational mug, number one, because that's only 2 keywords instead of 3. It's not quite as long tail as I want it to be. And then here on Etsy, inspirational quote is huge. It's being suggested right here. So you could potentially capture that audience. Inspirational. Okay, but then here, inspirational quote, inspirational mug. Yeah, so honestly, I think what I would do, I would target inspirational quote mug, knowing that I could capture then both inspirational mug and inspirational quote, potentially. And at the same time, in my tags and in my listing description, I'll mention both separately, so I can still kind of try to capture both keywords. So like in my tags, I would make sure one tag said inspirational mug. I'd make sure one tag said inspirational quote, but I would still, for my targeted keyword, and so this would be very first on my listing title, it would say inspirational quote mug. Okay. So let me search here, and actually this is making me think I should compare the two though. Inspirational quote mug and then inspirational mug. 1247 results. So again, that's really low, guys. Like you could totally capture this. Inspirational quote mug. And let's compare that to just inspirational mug just to see. And then come down here. Okay, and then another thought, guys, one thing that I love to do when you can keep the words like together, this is better. Like trying to get inspirational mug and rank on the first page is a little bit harder when you've got quote kind of hanging out in between those two words. But if you can do, like, let's say black and white inspirational mug so that these two words still stay exactly together, then that's awesome. So even if like you search on Google and black and white inspirational mug was like, oh great, 2 people search for this. Well, it doesn't matter because you can still, by adding more details, that doesn't hurt you. Details are great. Details tell Google and Etsy that you're not a robot who just says inspirational mug 20 times in the listing. That's not SEO, guys. That's like spamming, and that's being a weird robot computer thing. But if you do black and white inspirational mug, essentially what you're saying is go look at what the search results were for inspirational mug, and that's really what you could capture. Not to mention you'll capture a different audience and different people. Okay, sorry, I get off on so many tangents. We'll go with these guys, and then I'll compare and I'll tell you kind of like where I'm leaning, where my results are, like where things are going to pan out and what long tail keyword phrase I'm going to pick first. Okay, inspirational quote mug. Okay, so over here, inspirational mug at $8.80. Yeah, and that one's at $50. Oops. I need to switch those two. Now I'm going to search over here. One, just over 1 million. Let's try this. Look, there's less results, and I bet that shows up more. Plural 680. That's the same. .43. And here's the thing too. See how okay, the competition is a teensy bit less, but it's not. Yeah, that is kind of interesting because you would think the long tail keyword phrase would have less competition, but you may just be seeing lumped in with that a lot of inspirational quote search results. I'm not sure on that one. Okay, let's see competition on Etsy. I think I already kind of figured that out, right? Inspirational quote mug. Yeah, we're at 1247 for the other one as well. What about inspirational mug? Oh, interesting. Okay, so see how adding that extra word cut your competition in half. So now you're looking at 2353. So let's write that down. Whoops. Almost done here, guys. I know this gets a little bit tedious. And in terms of this over here, I'm just going to say that and then what else had we discovered over here? Inspirational mug, yep. And then, yeah, not suggested for that. Okay. And then, I don't know. Last time I thought I wasn't going to find anything good on Google Trends, but we will see. Inspirational mug. Okay, well, this is interesting, though, because clearly no one was really even searching for that term until recently. So that's a good sign. Yeah, so nothing for that. So this is making me a little bit cautious. Like, maybe I don't want quote right in the middle there. Maybe I'd rather just do black and white inspirational mug. I think so. Okay, let me try one more thing here. Nothing comes up. But again, guys, just pretend that you're targeting inspirational mug and all you're doing is adding a few more details. Adding those details does not It absolutely does not inhibit your ability to get on the first page for inspirational mug. It will help you, because if you can rise to the top for a black and white mug or whatever, I promise it will help you get more detailed. It's not going to hurt. Because you should see all the different keywords that we use in our descriptions, in our titles. And that doesn't hurt our ability to still get found for a more general term like terrarium. It doesn't matter. We gave Google and Etsy tons of clues, and they like that. Our listings are descriptive and full of lots of great keywords. Okay, so where are we at on this? I think I'm probably losing you guys. Okay. Average monthly searches, competition on Etsy. Okay, so here's the one thing. I really like this term because it came up for Etsy autocomplete. So, and then the unique coffee cups was showing up as a breakout term. This one I like, but this one also feels like too much competition as a brand new shop owner. So what I would do is definitely pocket this one, and I will definitely use a tag that is like, for your tags, I want to see if like 20 characters for each tag. So you probably have to break this up. You could have one that says unique mug, one that says unique cup. Those would be great. Here's another random tip, you guys. I wouldn't do a tag that says unique coffee because, well, unless I don't know, I guess people could search for unique coffee, but that's not what you're offering, is it? You're offering a unique mug, that makes sense in English, or a unique cup, that makes sense in English. So when you're thinking about breaking up those tags, those 13 tags you have at the bottom of your Etsy listing, still think in terms of the English language, because that will help. The more you want everything on your page to sound like a real breathing, creative human being came up with that, okay? All right, let's keep going here. Okay, pretty coffee cups. I think what I'm deciding with that is competition is really low, but the searches are pretty low too. I think, I don't know, that may be in second place as a new shop though, because that competition is really low. That's pretty great. Okay, coffee mug. What I've decided on this one is competition's still up there as you compare it to these two, and I don't want to look like a dummy, so I don't really want to have this in the title of my listing, but totally going to make it a tag, or at least, coffee separate. Inspirational quote mug, 50 on Google, and the competition is still pretty darn high. Inspirational mug, which is not as much of like, it's not long tail enough for me to really love it, but it gets pretty good searches. Like 880 is kind of a nice area there, and the competition isn't all that much. And inspirational quote suggested, as well as inspirational mug. I think that is what I'm going to start with, you guys. But I'm not going to do just inspirational mug. I'm going to do black and white inspirational mug. So I'm going to start with that, even though, you know what, to be honest, I don't even know how many average monthly searches it is. I think it's not high at all. But knowing that ultimately I'm targeting this one, inspirational mug. So that is what I'm going to start with. That is going to be my first long tail keyword phrase, knowing that I'm really trying for this guy, and knowing that also I would want to go in and write down black and white mug and see how that pans out. But guys, hopefully this gave you some great ideas and kind of get you thinking about that decision-making process. And the other thing I would suggest as you're going through this, like, so if I'm searching inspirational mug and I really want to make sure I target it, I'm going to go look and see, okay, why did this person, like, what made them get to the first spot for the search results for that? So obviously they have a great inspirational quote there, great photos, of course, which we'll talk about as well in another video. This is interesting. So she doesn't even have inspirational mug as her first term. See, I don't recommend that. I would have my long tail keyword phrase be at the very top. But see how, look, she's using these other great keywords that those are going to give you ideas for things that you can use. Okay, and here's another thing. Look, guys, you are going to be able to beat her out so fast because this is not nearly enough description here. This is not, my guess is that the reason she's killing it is from outside traffic. And obviously you can see she has a ton of favorites here. And it looks like she has a lot of mugs in her shop. Oh yeah, she's got a ton. So that's the other thing. She is showing up all over the place for mugs in search terms because she has tons of them. So that's another thing we'll suggest later. But then go down here. Okay, inspirational mug, unique. She captured that as well. She knew that was a good one. Okay, and so she's going for the gift thing too. Honestly, what I would say though is she's using mug way too much. She should have drinking cup. She should have coffee cup a bit more. That is just, to me, that's overkill with mug everywhere. And Google and Etsy don't care. You don't need to say mug that many times to rank for it. You need to spread yourself out. Then you can also capture coffee cup for this. But yeah, so she's got a lot of views on this, 1564, 572 favorites. Then the other thing too, guys, is the recency factor. Even though Etsy search is based on relevancy now, recency still matters. So as a new shop, that's another thing I recommend is renew those listings. It honestly, it does help. I've noticed that even with our Etsy shop, when we renew a listing, or let's say, a lot of times we'll just renew it because it was about to expire, that's the one that ends up jumping all the way to the first page of results for all sorts of keyword phrases, even the ones we weren't targeting. So there's a tip right there. I mean, watch your budget, of course, but you can spend $1 a week to renew 5 new listings and just track those and see what happens. I'm curious to see. Okay, so her shop's not that big. But at any rate, so that'll give you more ideas there. Man, I got a ton of keyword ideas just from looking at her listing. So, okay, so that's kind of how I go through my decision-making process. I hope that was helpful to you guys. And once you have this list, though, the great news is, granted, these numbers will change over time, but I would say for the next year or so, they'll be okay. So you'll have this list to go back and look at, compare, contrast. Okay, I know I've talked on forever, so I will leave you guys to it. Now it's your turn to go find your awesome long tail keyword phrases, and of course, head out there and be brilliant.